I suspect that over the years you've eaten a variety of broccoli. There are 20 types of broccoli. It is a cruciferous vegetable and part of the cabbage family, which includes vegetables such as Brussels sprouts and kale. Curious on how one can prepare it in your kitchen? Just steam the broccoli. Experts consider it the best way to preserve broccoli's nutrition. The easiest way is just to use your microwave. You don't even need a steamer. And in the farm, plant your broccoli where it will get at least 6 hours of sun daily and has fertile, well-drained, moist soil with plenty of organic matter. How many heads of broccoli do you get from one plant? The plant first produces a large head in the center of the plant. Once this main head has been harvested, it will grow several smaller side heads for next several weeks. Our farmer today grows the tender stem broccoli.
There are good returns if you do a good job.
Let's get his story. Welcome to yet another exciting episode of Kilimo na Biashara, and it seems we're never getting enough of Naivasha in Nakuru County. Well, today we're in West Rift Farm, and look around. This is not vegetable, this is not just cabbages or whatever, this is broccoli. So today we are focusing on broccoli farming for export. So join me in the farm.
Oh, hello, Linda.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Your farm is really beautiful and it's massive.
Oh, thank you.
I'm seeing a lot of crops here. Which ones do you have?
Oh, other than the tender stem broccoli, we also do French beans. We also do garden pea, we do potatoes, we do sweet potatoes, among others.
Whoa, this is basically a market that has everything.
Yeah, you might say so.
Are these broccolis right here? They look so much like kales or skuma wiki.
Yeah, this is a little bit different from the broccoli, you know. The broccoli that is here is actually called the tender stem broccoli, because it has a long stem and just the budding on top. So actually what they eat is the tender stem part of it.
This type of broccoli is eaten on the stem?
Yeah, that's why it's tender stem broccoli.
So what happens to the other part?
It is eaten all, but the sweeter part is the stem.
I see you have some more here. Are those broccolis too?
Yeah. This we usually start with harvesting these ones. These are mainly not for direct export, but there are some people now doing what we call the frozen fresh. But later on, it will elongate to this size. When it elongates to this size, that is now what we harvest. It is packed and exported.
Now, Peter, let me take you back. How did you start broccoli farming?
When we started farming here in Marura, I visited a few farms and I realized of this crop being grown by a few farmers. And then we inquired around and we found one exporter who was willing to give us the tender.
How do you really venture into it, especially now that you export?
For you to start, first of all, you have to get a contract with an exporter, or if you want to export yourself, then you have to get the contact of where you want to take that material. From there now you get the company that produces the seed and then the farm.
Allow me to take you back. How is the germination process of broccoli?
It is not very complicated, but because of the value of that seed, is very expensive. We usually make sure we want 100% germination. So we are in collaboration with one of the seedling growers, Plantech. They do for us seedlings. I'll show you later how they bring the seedlings when they are ready for planting. And when they bring it here, then we go ahead and plant. 1 hectare, you need 60,000 seedlings. We plant in beds. You can see there are beds so that there is no water logging on where it is growing. Then from there are stages where you will control some pests and diseases. You will put more fertilizer, and later on, now you go ahead and harvest. It takes you 2 months to start harvesting, and you can harvest for 1 month.
That is quite a short time, but what are the management practices involved in broccoli?
First, proper planting. Make sure you have all the seedlings that will germinate. They are already germinated, they establish. After that, you can drench to make sure you don't get diseases like dumping off. You also avoid cutworms. You weed and make sure you are free of weeds. You can see I have people weeding. After that, you can control minimum use of chemicals.
Peter, as I was coming in, I saw that you've installed massive irrigation systems here. Is broccoli a heavy consumer of water?
We have adopted what we call the pivot. We call it pivot system. It's overhead, but the pivot moves around as it waters. Broccoli requires water. In fact, you see this thing is almost 90% water. And if you don't water, it will be hardened. It will become hard. It's no longer tender stem broccoli.
Peter, just by looking at your farm, it's so productive and it's green, it's very productive. What are the practices that you do in order to get good yields?
Timing of operations. It's a program that has to be followed. If it is time for adding fertilizer, there is no excuse. You have to do it at the right time. Weeds, you have to keep weeds, the crop free of weeds. We also do other crops. We do rotation, not intercropping, but rotation. Like when we are done with the broccoli, we have to put maybe a legume. So it has to be systematic so that you don't exhaust the soil on one crop.
So it is advisable for a farmer to practice crop rotation?
Yeah. Crop rotation is critical for any farming business because each plant, it's from a different level of the soil and different types of nutrients.
Peter, now I'm curious to see how this broccoli is planted. Have you prepared a section for us to see how it is planted?
Oh yes, you're lucky you came when we are already doing some planting. We can walk there and you see how we're doing it.
Okay, let's go.
Thank you.
All right.
A bit hot.
It's a bit hot here.
I put up my hat.
Your hat is up already. I've gotten used to the heat.
Hapa ndipo wanapanda. As you can see, the seedlings come in trays.
Yes. Like that.
These are the trays. And the seedlings, unfortunately, these have been out here for long, but
because of the sun.
The sun, they are wilting.
Yes.
But because of the way it has been propagated, it won't wilt. So once we plant, it will still continue growing. So
Peter, how do you prepare the soil before you start planting broccoli?
So Linda, maybe it's a bit hot, but let me remove the hat. It's okay. Now once we start with the harrowing, then we do a chisel to soften the soil, then do the bed. After the bed, we do trenches, apply the right fertilizer. And then after that, we come in and plant. We water, and then we come in and plant. So you water and plant the same day? Yes. Okay, you can show me how to plant. Yeah, I'll show you how we do the planting. Yeah. I will leave my hat. We carry some? You can carry some with you? Yeah, I can help you carry.
So that is fertilizer.
This is the fertilizer.
You don't use organic fertilizer?
Currently no, but we use manure.
Okay.
We've already applied manure when we were preparing the land.
Oh.
I'll show you how to plant.
Yes.
Okay, give me one of the sticks.
The
This
stick.
is a very important tool.
Oh, I just put it on top.
Yeah, then you are supposed to mix
Okay.
the fertilizer. Yeah, so you measure from one plant to the other. Put your small hole
Okay.
and you put your seedling.
It's easy like that.
Yeah, like that.
So that is 25.
Yes.
I put it here, and I've seen that it's not as deep as.
Yeah, you just allow the covering properly.
Yeah.
A bit deeper. Okay.
Like that.
Yeah. Then you cover and you press a bit. Done.
Done. Next.
You have planted one broccoli.
You know, I'm coming for the rest.
Yeah.
I'm coming to harvest mine.
Okay. You're always welcome. Okay.
So here also 25. Another one.
Yes.
So I apply a little fertilizer.
You apply a little.
You say just on top, huh?
Yeah.
Just on
Where you will be planting.
Oh.
There, along the line. Yeah?
along this line.
Yes.
Okay, let me
Trench.
remove.
You can dig a small trench with your stick. Let me show you.
From here now, how long will it take?
It will take like 2 weeks. We will come and do the weeding, maybe control some pests. In 8 weeks' time, we will be harvesting.
For 8 weeks, we'll be back here to harvest.
Yeah.
I'm coming for my tender broccoli.
Yeah, make sure, that time I'll make sure you carry some broccoli with you.
Wow.
Tender stem broccoli, and I'll show you how to cook them.
Wow. You will.
Yeah.
Kabaka,
Yeah, Irida.
your place is soaking wet.
It is.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine.
Tumambo, when you are agronomist in charge of this farm.
Yes, my name is Kabaka. I'm the farm manager. Yes, I'm the chief agronomist here.
How is the farm performing?
The farm is good. We have quite a number of assortment of crops. We have tender stem broccoli and we have cabbages.
I can't just ignore the irrigation system right behind you. What type of irrigation system is this and why this type?
This system is called center pivot. It is specially designed to mimic the rain, and it is the most efficient system in growing vegetables because one, it has got the uniformity of watering, and number two, it takes less time to irrigate such a big area.
We are just from planting broccoli. What are the management practices that one should really look into when you're farming broccoli?
Identifying the site, whether it is suitable for broccoli. Then number two, after you identify the site, you need to identify the suitable soil for growing the broccoli. The other thing is you identify the right machinery for the land preparation.
Talking of machineries, which ones are those and what does it entail?
All the time when you are planting tender stem broccoli, there is always a legume that was in that brook previously. So you need to do an arrow, then you do a chisel, then you do ridges, Then from there, you plant your land.
Is it important for someone to really do soil testing before they start planting broccoli?
It is a must because the fertilizer requirement for one field to the other, one area to the other differs. So we do it annually so that we establish our nutrient levels at the time of planting.
Kabaka, tell me, what are the favorable conditions for growing broccoli? This is Naivasha, high temperatures. Which other region is really good for growing broccoli?
Any altitude above 18 meters above the sea level is quite good for broccoli. And the area that we are standing currently here is around 1800 meters above the sea level. It also does well in Mount Kenya area and then around all the areas around Naivasha.
Many farmers normally say that when you subject a lot of water to the crops, they get susceptible to pests and diseases. And I see that you really have a lot of water in this farm. Are they susceptible to diseases?
The only thing that happens with broccoli, if there is too much water in the soil, it represses the oxygen and then the crop is always stunted. But the beauty with the broccoli is it is not susceptible to soil pest and diseases. Actually, it is recommended when growing legumes, you should include a brassicas because brassicas produce a fumigant called methyl isothiocyanate, which now fumigates the soil against the soil pests.
What are other control measures for local farmers?
First of all, you do your monitoring. Then you establish the threshold levels of the pest. Say, for example, if the issue is aphid, you cannot just spray just because there is one aphid in 1 hectare. So you need to establish your threshold levels from both caterpillar, from both thrips, and for aphids. The first decision is always not to spray. You need to make sure your crop is effectively rotated because mostly broccoli does not share the same disease pest with legumes. Then from there, if there is no other alternative, now you need to spray. You make the decision on what product to use based on the mode of action so that the diseases cannot become resistant.
That is quite insightful, Kabaka. But why broccoli amongst all these other crops?
The first advantage is the rotation. The second advantage is the crop is easy to grow compared to other crops. And finally, it gives some good revenue to the farm.
How is the market for broccoli?
You can supply the year round. The prices do not go up and down. We have stable prices throughout the year.
That was quite insightful. Are there some that we can harvest here today?
Yes, we always harvest every day. There is some broccoli that is in production today. I think we can move there and do some harvesting.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Okay. Na mbona tunaingia na kreti mbili?
Now, Rita, to avoid contamination of the produce, we will normally have 2 crates. One is a spacer crate, should be of a different color to the one you are using for picking, so that you avoid soiled produce. And if there are harmful pathogens on the soil, they don't contaminate the crop.
So inavunwa aje?
So first of all, you start with the topping. After you top, then that's around 16 days. Then after 16 days, you harvest according to customer specification. Specification is between 11 to 24 centimeters or a diameter of 240 millimeters. And then from there, you put in the crate and it is weighed and it goes to the produce holding area. So now you avoid all the small ones, like this one. Then you avoid the small ones. These are for tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Then you take a shoot that is only 9 centimeters and a half. So everybody knows the spec.
This is the right specification,
that is the right specification. But the small one is
still a baby.
That's small. It can also be exported, but as a tip. They want the ones that are very tender and within the specification, because if you dry harvesting, then now the floret opens, and that's not a good quality standard. All the specification on harvesting depends on the end consumer. That's the customer who will consume the product.
Okay, let's harvest some more.
Let's harvest some more, Lida.
Let me find Like when you give me the side that doesn't have anything. Sioni kitu.
This one, Linda. This one is within speak.
Okay. These ones you are good to go. So from here, where is it taken to?
Now you move the crates to the weighing area. That is where it is given the sticker number, identifying the block and the number of kgs.
Ready for export.
Ready for export.
Okay. Let's take it to the other side.
That's okay.
Hey, you've seen that dynamic. Market varies for broccoli. So you can harvest the long ones from 11 to 24 centimeters, and maybe another market will need smaller and tender. So let's see. Let's go and weigh and grade this broccoli. Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Peter,
Yeah?
tumekuja na zetu.
Oh, you've already harvested a whole crate. Bring then we will weigh.
I want to see how much I will go home with.
You can see now when we bring here. You have 14. Is it 14 point?
I
Minus
managed
2 kilos of
that 2 kgs. That I know.
So you have 12 kgs.
Really?
Yes.
But
you have recorded. Whose name? 12 kilos
kgs.
from Linda.
Hey, how much? Calculate the money also. What are the market dynamics involved when it comes to broccoli farming?
It varies, especially during the months of July, August, September, October. It's very difficult because those guys are harvesting their own. But from now, November all the way to June, the market is very good.
How much does broccoli go for, let's say at farm gate price?
For now, it is about 80 shillings per kilo, or for the spear. For like now, this is a good spear. Out of this, maybe half of it will not pass through.
So there are various types of broccoli.
Different categories. So this is the prime. This is what we call. Will give you the prime price of 80 shillings per kilo. But if now they harvest some, which will still happen, small ones. Let me get one. Like this one now. This is now is not meeting the spec. So it's smaller. It will go to another class, and the payment is like 40 bob. So it is between 40 and 80 shillings per kg.
Peter, we've been talking about the export market, but how does the local market behaves?
We are not yet eating tender stem broccoli. In fact, the market is all export.
What are the nutritional values of this particular crop?
It has vitamin A, vitamin C, it has very good potassium, it has vitamin K. In fact, that is a plus. It is the only vegetable with the highest amount of protein.
As a broccoli farmer, what do you love most about broccoli, and would you advise another farmer to venture into it?
Broccoli is an easy crop to grow, so long as you have a good agronomist who follows it to the letter. Broccoli is a crop that gives you money in the shortest time possible. In 8 weeks, you are about to start getting back your money.
So since you've said you're not cooking for me today, you'll pack some for me, I'll go cook it for myself?
Sure, a little.
Doesn't need a lot.
Like this, huh?
That one is enough.
Okay.
I won't cook everything. See, it's just like stir fry. This is enough for me. We'll package it well. Thank you so much, Peter. This has been quite insightful and you're doing a great job. But before I let you go, maybe you can just touch on the cost of production.
Oh, actually, broccoli is not it's not cheap to produce. A seedling costs us about 4 shillings. Then the whole process, 1 hectare will cost you about 850,000. So still it will still give you a good margin if you do a good job on the ground. There are good returns if you do a good job.
Peter tells me that this is a vegetable that is rich in protein, vitamin A, vitamin K, name them. I hope you've learned something from today's episode of Kilimo na Biashara that has been broccoli farming for export. Until next time, my name is Linda Koskei.